Bonjour à tous. Merci d'être restés jusque-là.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Sophie de REYNAL, Marketing Manager of NutriMarketing. We're a Parisian agency specialized in innovation, so new ingredients, new products for consumers. So we do trend presentations and innovation. We develop new products for our customers. So I'll tell you about the new shopping experiences today. These are the two main mutations that the food world is going through today. The first one is consumers' behavior, as we saw yesterday in these fairs conferences today. It's what changes in distribution circuits. Before starting, I'd like to tell you that I can send this presentation to you if you want to leave me your internet address or your business card. I can send it to you. So, this is a period of strong mutations, and it changes. What changes with the previous years is that everything is changing at the same time. There's a demographic, economic, technological, and environmental change and mutation. So this affects the way people consume. So as soon as consumers change, they have new expectations, and especially expectations concerning their access to food. So a demographic mutation. Of course, the planet is growing older, but also we are 7 billion individuals on the planet. We expect 9 to 11 billion by 2050, based on the studies carried out. In this 9 billion, we know that 2 billion will be over 65 years old. So the population is getting older, and we know that there will be some people, a few billion, who will be obese and overweight. 30% of the population will live in China or in India. We already have 2.5 billion millennials, so the new coming generations. Then 70% population will be urban, whereas now only 46% of the population is urban. So consumers will change with new expectations, new needs. Of course, if I talk about seniors, we'll have to change products from the packaging viewpoint. They'll have to be easier to use, to open, to carry, and also packagings will have to be easier to read, or maybe not so high on the shelf. Or if I think also from the nutritional viewpoint, for seniors, nutritional needs will need to be more adapted, more calcium, more protein. The seniors are the only ones who really need all these proteins, and also textures. You know that when one grows older, one loses flavor and is not able to chew so much, so we'll need chewable textures. And baby food, we know that 8 to 10% of baby food is eaten by seniors because their textures are adapted. And then, when you go to the cash point, well, it's to the cashier machine. It doesn't look like an old guy, And then you also prepared processed meals with risotto or puree, mashed potatoes. Today, there's not only seniors, there's also millennials, people who are between 18 to 24 years old, and they are hyper-connected, and their whole life they've been listening to careful. There's an obesity epidemics, careful, the planet is in danger. So maybe they have in mind sustainable development, so they'll want to consume better than previous generations have. So they'll want, it's in their genes, they'll want better products, more foodie products, but also more trendier products, and also more natural products. So we'll have to offer all this to them. Then another mutation, well, the issue of the environmental issues, so we'll need to adopt behaviors to rationalize consumption and offer less spillage. and we'll have to waste less. In the UK, a study showed that 46% potatoes produced didn't even reach the consumer. So where they were wasted between the production, the field, and the consumer. So it's a huge problem. So if we can solve the waste issue, we'll be able to feed this planet, which is growing older and which has more individuals. So we'll try and find ecosystems to value the whole food supply chain. And of course, a strong technological mutation as well, with a strong effect on stores. On the one hand, people go to internet before they purchase, not just for food, it's true for all secrets. And on the opposite, people will go to the store before buying, and then to end up buying online. So again, people are more and more hyper-connected, not just millennials, even the Z generation coming after them, and also the previous generation, seniors also are among the ones who consume most on internet. So again, things will happen here, either regarding the consumption behavior, but also new distribution circuits. So I've told you about the consumer. We see the end of the hyper-consumption. Before, we had a hyper-choice, and we just bought and bought. But then there was an economic recession in 2008, and people thought, well, my wallet was affected, so now I don't want to buy anything superfluous. I want to really buy for my money. I want some value for my money. And also we want to protect small producers, and we have in mind also sustainable development to counter the greenhouse gas effect. And so there's different crises that were really in the media, and so they're looking for simpler things. They need to be reassured, especially in France. The country is very safe from the food point of view, and anyhow, 60% of the French think that they are taking a risk of being poisoned every time they eat something. So we really need to reassure consumers with something that's more authentic, maybe more local. And then there's a back to balance. Consumers who don't want, dictatorship, nutritional dictatorship. They want more balance, and not necessarily 0%. They want things that are more balanced and especially healthier from the natural viewpoint, which means that the consumer has changed. And we now look at what's in our plate, so we try and give some meaning to what we purchase. For budget reasons, it was due to the recession, and now also for the health of the planet and of the family. So it's hard to box our consumer, because I may eat meal substitutes the whole week long to get a good dinner on Saturday evening, and we see food that's that you have to cook every night. What am I going to cook tonight? And the pleasurable food, well, I'm going to have my friends, my family over, and here I can cook and look for ingredients and take time, which I don't have during the rest of the week. So we'll look for alternatives, healthier alternatives, but we dedicate less and less time and money to food. So it's paradoxical, because I want better products, but I have less time and money for it. And on the one hand, we need to have recipes and to cook again, but at the same time, we want ready-made products, as if I had time to make them myself with ingredients that I know and that I could have worked on if I had decided to spend more time on them. And the consumer today wants everything. He wants it to be good, but also handy and healthy and natural and good for sustainable development. And everything on top of it should be customized, because yes, he wants products, but he also wants to be taken care of and to be spoken to. So products, dedicated products, like you see the campaign that Coke did by naming the bottle. Everybody bought their bottles with their names on it, and you keep it because it may be a collector piece. And also Danone in the eastern countries were dedicated with a black packaging, really stylish, or something for specific for pregnant women or whatever. So that famous time of the empty fridge. What am I going to do tonight? Well, we see that stores have started to answer this question, especially Monoprix has the what do we have for tonight? So these are ready-made meals. So you may have a delicatessen meal to bring home tonight. So it's either balanced or not, but at least it's fresh. And we also see a lot of stores that offer boxes with ingredients and recipes so that you can cook it at home. And there are 30-minute recipes, so we know that this is what we have, and we may buy several boxes per week to know exactly what we're going to cook for them every evening. Another consumption trend, it's a nomadic one. In France, we still have 3 meals a day, and they actually represent a great deal of the calories intake. We're not in the Anglo-Saxon product where food intakes are diversified during the day. But whether it's breakfast that is becoming more and more nomadic and which is taken outside from home, there's also lunch, of course. This is the lunch taken at home, and dinner is not so much structured. There's not everyone around a table sharing a meal, but some have their tray in front of TV or whatever. And so it's become what we call homadism, which is nomadism but at home. So the French model is eroding, it tends to erode itself, and the outside home consumption is increasing to the detriment to the at-home consumption. So the outside of home is increasing. Now, some restaurants don't even serve because they're there, don't attend people in the restaurant because they also make, it's outside home, but it's consumed at home. They make the meals and then they send them to the home of the consumer. I was telling you about breakfast. More and more French people have their breakfast outside home. 760 million visits in 2016 in restaurants or bars for breakfast. Between 8 and 11 a.m. The rest is before, obviously. So you have a coffee and a croissant, something at the bakery, for instance, and in bakeries, sandwich places, coffee shops. We've seen how this market increased. There's about 30% kids who get to school without having eaten anything. So solutions can be nomadic for kids and for adults too, because they may have a coffee at home and then eat something on their way between the home and work, or once they reach work. So this affects France as well as all other European countries. So solutions, there's Franprix. They have started a partnership with Resto Inn and 3 breakfast formulas at home, takeaways at home or at work. And now for distribution mutations, we're here to tell you about shopping experiences. Consumers, of course, and urbans have less and less time to get food and to eat it. So there's new ways for distribution circuits to go and look for these consumers, to find these consumers who will consume differently and in different places. So what we should keep in mind is that our products can't just wait for consumers, lying on their shelves, on the supermarket shelves. No, no, no. Now your products must go and look for consumers at home or in automatic distribution, and they have to be available when the consumers want to consume them. When we do innovation studies, we try to place to focus on this innovation. R&D usually focuses on one product, on packaging, and we went further than that, and we want to open this innovation and say, well, how am I going to take this product to my target consumer? How will he wants to consume it? So we need to go all the way and say, okay, my innovation is fine, but it will be for such and such a consumption moment, and I need to know how the consumer will want to find it and where will I find it and how. Maybe you've seen this article from Les Echos about 10 days ago. It's the end. They announced the end of the supermarket the way we knew it when we went to buy for the whole month. And it's dominating, and it's still dominating in France. It's still dominating retail. But we think that this is a kind of old model because we don't want to spend all that time in hypermarkets, and we want other things. Some hypermarkets have tried to reinvent themselves by offering parks for kids and by transforming the hypermarket in a place where one can live. So it's the ideal mall. There's a place where you could have exchanges and attraction part, for new shopping experiences, customizable products. That could be a new place of life that you will visit a bit like you visit Disneyland or when you go, and you do something for the weekend with the family. The increase of convenience stores. Convenience stores are back in town. When I was young, we went to Félix Bottin in the city areas, and they were sent out of the downtowns by hypermarkets that were in the suburbs. But then we see that in 10 years' time, 100 square meters have doubled in Paris. It's a bit following the 7-Eleven model, Anglo-Saxon model, and their schedules start from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Their supplies are very adapted to the areas they're in. But you'll tell me, okay, fine, maybe it was always like this, yes, but Sherpas are have smaller. We say rations packs because they will stay only for a week, or they have a more developed snack part. You can eat at the store. More and more often, you can have a bite at the Deli Monop or at Picard or others for the lunchtime. And the drive has been very successful in France between 2010 and 2015. We see the number of drives increasing in France. So it's now drive for boulanger and other types of products, not just food. This concept where you order online and you go and collect it, you waste less time and everything's ready when you get there. So it's good for consumers. Now, new experiences at the store, but with local products or traditional know-how. So we'll find the little neighborhood store. You'll find them now in your supermarket with the advice, with the know-how, with authentic products, which are the same that we may find at the butchers, but now it's become mature in the supermarkets. In Auchan, you have chefs that cook for you, and they cook products with short lifetime. So again, they try to value these products that would be thrown away. So it's also sustainable, and you can also have bite within the supermarket. You can get your salad in their hypermarket. So instead of selling it already cut, you can go and get it in earth, so it's super fresh. Now, Carrefour in Milan has launched an urban life Carrefour with a bar lounge with a happy hours until 9 p.m. You can go and have a drink while you you shop. You can have coffee at Picard. There's now a snack bar, so you can have your lunch with a microwave. It's a bit like the daily Monop model, where you can have bites on the spot. You can heat your plate, your meal. Picard had already a menu that cost the ticket resto, this check paid by the company for your meal. So now you can use that check and go to Picard to eat. Nicolas, you could only buy wine, but now you can have lunch and have a drink, some wine. Happy Little offers pre-orders online at your bakery store, because they saw that 30% people, when they saw the line at the bakery store at lunchtime, they went elsewhere. But now, if you've ordered your formula online, you can go and collect it. You've paid it before, and in 10 minutes you're done. You get it. And you also have people who did outside home, like Starbucks, but they offer ground coffee, and so they're doing retail now, and they offer pre-packaged products. There's also customization supply. This is the Carrefour in beer. You have a stand, you bring your pictures, and all your products will be customized. You can have something engraved on your perfume bottle, on a box, or whatever. Lots of things like that to renew the consumer's experience. Of course, this Costco is coming. It's the world leader, one of the world leaders in retail. They'll open in France in spring with a model which is a warehouse model, but also with supplies which are limited, but regular Costco is on register, so you have to be registered and you benefit from their discounts. Then also Carrefour, super economic, will develop in Spain and Romania, in Brazil, now in Italy, and maybe one day in France. Hard discount things. And also consumers like local, ethic, and solidaire stores. AMAP, La Ruche qui dit oui, organic baskets, and also collaborative models where consumers give some of their time, and in exchange of which they get discounts of the products. It's usually organic or local products, at least, and therefore responsible productions and solidarity meals. I mean, a whole series of things for sustainable development. We also have an urban agriculture. We mentioned local. Well, we have hyper-local. Agricool in Paris offers Parisian strawberries throughout the year, but they're grown in a container, so they don't see the daylight nor the turf. But it gives you Parisian strawberries, so it's hyper-local, season, and it's probably, if this urban agriculture is being developed a lot, of course, there are beehives on Parisian roofs, and there's more and more buildings that have gardens on their roofs, and they order local products this way. Now, it will have an impact technologically. If you order on internet, here's the Carrefour's virtual store. So you see things virtually on an application, and you will see what they order online. But a lot of consumers are influenced by the online, and then they go and consume offline, so at the store. So in this new technology, what we see most is delivery service more and more, whether it's for restoration or all stores with daily with Foodora, everybody's being delivered, and also we see Carrefour offers express deliveries, at least in Paris, in the Paris region, in 1 hour for all the products at home. And this way, the consumers don't have to move from their place. Deliver or Foodora, I told you about them. They've progressed by 20% last year, and we see that Uber, Airbnb, and Amazon are also starting home delivery. So this will progress, and many others are proposing local things or things that are cheaper or fresher or etc. Deliveries, there's boxes, of course, so that you can discover products to maybe buy them more regularly afterwards. You have cosmetics, a lot of different boxes, types of boxes. In distribution, we see a partnership between Franprix and Allo Resto. So if you feel like ordering a raclette, you order it at Allo Resto, and Franprix will deliver you next door with brands that they have in their store. So you get a raclette for 4, 6, 10, 12. So there's all kinds of menus that are online, and you get delivered, and Franprix delivers it for your breakfast, your meal, or whatever. There's partnerships with Amazon Prime, like products Bio C'est Bon, Lavinia, Fauchon. Now Amazon Prime will be able to deliver them in 1 hour. So these are other partnerships that were developed. Amazon until now did more deliveries than anything. They opened a store in the U.S. It's a kind of funny store because it has no cash machine. So you create an Amazon account, you get there with your smartphone, you identify yourselves, and there's cameras all over in the store. And as soon as you put a product in your basket, it's registered, and it's registered in your account. If you take it out, well, it takes it out of your account, and either it will be charged directly to your account, or you'll pay. So you won't have to pay at the cash machine. So it's another experience to get products in an easier way. Now, more other futuristic things. Auchan and Peugeot have worked together to get sensors on your car plate. So if you go get gas, you won't have to pay either, because thanks to your plate, it will be charged to your account. So we can imagine this for gas, but also for the drive. So if you go and shop, you won't have to pay. You can pay it in a different way. Also, this is what Amazon has implemented. With everyday life products, we use them, we reuse them, and comes a day that with our usual products, there's no more coffee in the morning, and we're really at loss.
Donc, vous l'aurez compris.
As you understood, you don't even need to go online anymore. Once you're a customer of Amazon Prime, you get buttons with the different brands that you have at home, and you press the button, and that's it, and you get delivered the next day. Brands also want to be closer to consumers, so they're back on the street with Bonduelle, Nutella stores, Danone. L'Atelier Charal has reopened near Les Halles in Paris. They're a butcher, but they also sell Charal products. They teach cooking lessons, and they explain things around their products, so more communication for consumers. This is also Carrefour at Villiers-en-Bière. And for Miko, you see magnums, which are really staged, or Legos, or brands, cosmetic brands, or, candy brands that will be really staged, and they will take a lot of space and a lot of room, and their merchandising looks like you're in an M&M store, for instance. Now, as a conclusion, two great mutations today. On the one hand, consumers who orient the market, and they zap more than they used to, and they have strong expectations concerning sustainability, cleaner and more transparent products, and also distribution circuits that look to be closer to brands. And also there's still a lot of solutions to be invented so that you can make your product available for consumers. And if I may say one thing, remember that the product needs to go to the consumer. Don't wait for the consumer to go to your product. So you'll have to really keep in mind the mode of distribution when you design your products. And that's it. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any question, I'm here. Don't hesitate.